Hi, I'm Teacher Dennis and welcome once again sa another video na ipoproduce natin ngayon. So we are going to learn more about factoring, and this time we are going to learn and study about the factoring of quadratic equations. Okay, so of course quadratic equations have equations na ang pinakamataas na exponent ay second power, okay, to the second power, and it is a trinomial. Okay, now on our usual steps, our teacher told us to find the factor of our third term, okay, two biggest factor. Now, when we add, we'll have a sum of uh, the numerical coefficient ng second term ng ating equation, okay? So what I usually do is, of course, make two open and close parentheses. So these will be our factors. So one quantity here and another quantity here, okay? And then, of course, get the square root of our first term, and that will be just x. So copy x, copy x. And then for my, so that I would not forget the sign of each, I will always copy the sign of our second term on our first factor. And then this second operator, so will be defined according to how it is, okay? So if it is plus, it only means they are friends, okay? So remember this. Plus means friends, while a minus means enemies, okay? So ano ibig sabihin? If they are friends, then they should be the same, okay? Friends, it's either plus plus or minus minus. But if this is negative, so it is enemies, it's either positive negative or negative positive, okay? But either way, always copy the sign here, then check the sign here, and then you decide whether they are friends or enemies, okay? So now, yung factor na lang yung problem natin here. So let's think of factors of 8. So of course, we have 8 and 1. And that won't make 6 because it's either 9 or 7 if we add or subtract them. Let's try, how about 4 and 2? So 4 and 2 can make 2 or 6, okay? So that can be. So we will be using these factors. So the greatest factor we place on the first factor of the first quantity, while the second will be here on the second factor, okay? And then, okay, I will just erase this because I need to establish one important thing so that you would believe that all I need to do is to copy and check the friends or enemies, okay? So let's try the box method because I think that's what most of the students are doing in school, or at least it is easier to check because it's visual. So x plus 4 here, and then x plus 2 here. So x and x, also I will erase the markings here so that it's easier for you to see. Okay, so now x times x is positive x squared, so no problem here. It's just the same, right? And then next, 4x, so this is positive. So hold on. X times 4, okay, so positive 4 times x is positive 4x. And then positive 2 times x is positive 2x, okay? If you add this together, it's just going to be positive 6x. That's it, okay? So, tama lang, right? So, I am correct to just copy the sign to the bigger factor, okay? And then last, Positive times positive will give us a positive value. So that's why they are friends, okay? So positive here, they are indeed friends. And 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so that's how I got the friends and enemies rule so that it's easier for you to understand. Okay, so now our factors then, okay, the factor of our x squared plus 6x plus 8 is the quantity x plus 4 and the quantity x plus 2. Okay, so that's the level 1. Now let's go to the next example. Okay, so again, open, close parentheses, square root of the first term, m here, copy, and then this means they are enemies. The enemy of the positive is a negative, so it must be positive and negative so that we will yield a negative value for our third term. And then let's try the factors of 36. That will give us positive 13 if we add them together. So we know that if we multiply 12 by 3, okay, 12 and 3, we're going to yield 36. However, this could only have 15 or 9. Okay, so I think that's not a good factor. Okay, so I think 36 is a very big number. What we can do is to really break it down into their prime factors so that we could combine some of them. Okay, so 36. We know that 36 is 6 times 6. 6 times 6. It only means 6 is 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. Okay, so if we have that value, okay, for example, 6 and 6, if we use 6 and 6, we're only going to get 12 or 0. So again, that's not the two factors we are looking for. How about this one? The 4 and 9. Let's try that. 4 and 9. Okay, 4 plus 9 is 13. And then 9 minus 4 is 5. So I think this is the factor because 13 suddenly appeared. So we will put 9 because this is the bigger, place it on the first quantity while 4 on the second quantity. Okay, so that's it. That's the factor of our m squared plus 13m minus 36. Okay, so always remember that convention. Okay, copy the sign of the second term to the bigger factor or the first factor. So assign the bigger factor here on the first quantity and then decide whether it's going to be friends or enemies and then put the second factor. Okay, easy breezy. Next, last example for this video. So open parenthesis, close parenthesis, square root of our first term, place x, copy the sign of the second term, place it on the first factor that you have, and minus indicates that they are enemies, so they should be different. Okay, so it's a negative and a positive. Now, check the factors of 36 again. So looking back on the factors that we have earlier, 9 appeared here. Okay, so we could consider 12 and 3. Okay, let's see. 12 and 3. I think that's correct. So this is the factor, but for the sake of checking, let's use again the box method. Okay, we have x minus 12 x plus 3. So this is going to be x squared. That's why this is x squared. And then, is this 36? Yep, it is a negative 36. And then, this is going to be positive 3x. While here, this is negative 12x. Negative 12 plus 3 is negative 9. And then just copy x. So indeed, this is the factor of x squared minus 9x minus 36. So in this factoring, all you need to do is to consider the sign of the second term in the trinomial, put it on the bigger factor that you have, and you decide if it is friends or enemies. Okay, so for the sign of the second factor here, okay, this will tell you that sign. Okay, so remember, if it is negative, they are enemies. If they are enemies, it's either positive minus or minus positive. If they are friends, it can either be positive, positive, or negative, negative. Okay, so those are the rules in order for us to make it easier, because memorizing a lot of rules can be tricky, but having this kind of technique can be helpful. And also be very patient in getting the factors of everything. Okay, and then try if it's going to add up into your second term. Okay, so those are the skills that you need for factoring. So thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully you can master this in any time. Okay, bye bye. See you for the next video. See you in the next video.